Hi students, I hope you're doing well. Now, if you're somebody who is preparing for the CA Foundation exams this June 22, then this video is absolutely for you. Now, a lot of students come back and always ask, "Okay, sir, abhi to CA Foundation exam likhna baki hai. Why is everybody talking about CA Inter now? Most of the places we see around, students have started to sign up for CA Inter classes. The classes begin even immediately after the exam, even before the results are out. Why do you need to begin so early? What is this whole CA Inter beast about? CA Foundation at 4 papers, CA Inter is 8 papers. From one group, you're doing two groups. So can you explain, what is this whole CA Inter beast and how we need to tackle it well? So I thought of quickly shooting a video just for you and to give you a perspective of what the next level looks like and why it is important that you start at least thinking about it while you prepare for your CA Foundation exams. Of course, we're not starting preparation. We only do that after you do the CA Foundation exam. But why you need to start thinking and what you need to do now if you have to progress ahead, right? So here's a small video for you. Stay tuned until the end and you'll learn. Okay, so let's look at how you prepare for the CA Inter May 23 exams. Now, first, let's understand what are the subjects that you need to prepare. What are the subjects in the CA Inter course? Now, there are two groups. Okay, there is Group 1 and there's Group 2. Group 1 has 4 papers, Group 2 has 4 papers, 8 papers in total. The first group has got papers 100 marks accounting, as you can see on my screen, 100 marks of law, which is 60 marks corporate law, that's Companies Act, and 40 marks is other laws. 100 marks is cost and management accounting. Now, this is a new paper, you haven't done it at CA foundation level. And 100 marks is taxes, which is 60 marks direct tax, 40 marks indirect tax. Again, tax is introduced for the first time at CA Inter, it's not done in CA foundation. Moving on to the second group. Second group has one more paper in accounting, paper 5, which is called advanced accounting. Okay, so there are two accounting papers in CA Inter versus one paper in CA foundation. Then there's paper 6, which is auditing and assurance, 100 marks. Once again, completely new paper. You don't have any base from CA foundation. Paper 7 has got two parts. You have paper 7A, which is Enterprise Information Systems, which is 50 marks, and 7B, which is Strategic Management, which is 50. That's the way it totals to 100. Now, Enterprise Information Systems is basically a paper in, more of using information systems, more of using technology in business, right? So it's a lot of information technology. And strategic management is basically about business management. It is similar to the paper you've done in foundation, right? So that again totals to 100 marks. And then you have paper 8, which has again got two parts. 8A is financial management, 60 marks. Again, you've not really done FM in CA foundation. And then there is 8B, which is economics of finance, 40 marks. Of course, you have some base of economics in CA foundation, but this is a lot of macroeconomics. So that again totals to 100 marks. So that's the way you have to do two groups of 400 marks each. Okay, it's a humongous syllabus. Uh, it is more than two times the CA foundation syllabus, and you will see it, right? But very interesting, very enjoyable because a lot of subjects are new, and really this is the syllabus that will set base for CA final. यही सब paper CA final में भी आएंगे, and ये syllabus पढ़ने पे ही you will get ready to do articleship, which is the most interesting part of the course. When you actually go out, you work in an organization, you work with clients, and you actually start theory being applied to practice. तो वो तभी हो पाएगा जब आपको ये 8 papers का understanding हो. Okay, now one very important thing to note here is that out of these 8 papers, which are all structured, there are four theory papers, which is your law paper, which is paper 2, paper 4 tax paper, this is in group 1, and in group 2 audit paper, which is paper 6, and enterprise information and strategic management, which is paper 7. ये चार पेपर ऐसे हैं जिसमें आपका 70 मार्क्स जो होता है वो स्ट्रक्चर्ड होता है, मतलब देयर इज अ क्वेश्चन और अ केस इन विच यू हैव टू एक्चुअली आर्टिकुलेट राइट एन आंसर, एंड 30 मार्क्स होता है वो एमसीक्यूज होता है. ओके, तो ये 4 पेपर्स में 30 मार्क्स एमसीक्यूज होता है विच हेल्प्स यू सॉर्ट ऑफ बूस्ट योर स्कोर. बट ये एमसीक्यूज आपके सीए फाउंडेशन एमसीक्यूज जैसा नहीं होता है. It's not necessarily just 1 mark. It could be 1 mark also. It could be 2 marks also, and there is no negative marking for any of these answers. Okay, so you can attempt all, and it becomes a great base for you to score marks. All right. और बाकी जो पेपर्स हैं 4, उसमें कोई एमसीक्यूज नहीं आता है. वो पूरा के पूरा 100 मार्क्स स्ट्रक्चर होता है. All right. Now, वर्थ नोइंग कि ये इंस्टीट्यूट में जब दो ग्रुप्स होते हैं तो देर इज अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग rule that they have which is called the rule of set off for passing the papers, right? So ये rule of set off क्या होता है and how do you really what is considered to be pass? Let me explain this to you. Now, जैसे सीए फाउंडेशन में आपको 4 पेपर देने हैं और आपसे ये बताया गया है कि ईच पेपर यू हैव टू स्कोर अबाउट 40 मार्क्स, राइट? बट एज एन एग्रीगेट इन टोटलिटी यू हैव टू स्कोर एटलीस्ट 50%. मतलब आपका एग्रीगेट स्कोर शुड बी मोर 200 और मोर देन 200 आउट ऑफ 400, right? That was the rule for CA Foundation. Similar rule is applicable for CA Inter. Now CA Inter में क्या होता है? You have to score a minimum of 40 marks in each paper. ठीक है? It means अगर 40 से कम है तो you don't just fail that paper, you fail the entire group. Okay, you have to score a minimum of 40 marks in each paper. Okay, and as an aggregate put together, you have to score a minimum of 50%. Okay, you have to score a minimum of 50%. So let's say hypothetically you decide to only give one group. Okay, suppose आपने सिर्फ ग्रुप 1 दिया तो आपको चारों पेपर में 40 से ज्यादा लाना है. एंड एज एन एग्रीगेट 400 मार्क्स में मिनिमम कितना लाना है? कम से कम 200 मार्क्स. अगर आप चारों पेपर में एक भी पेपर में 40 से नीचे हो जाते हो, यू विल फेल दैट ग्रुप. फिर आपका एग्रीगेट 50% से ज्यादा भी होगा तो डजेंट मैटर, यू वुड हैव फेल्ड दैट ग्रुप. सिमिलरली अगर आप सिर्फ ग्रुप 2 देते हो, सेम रूल अप्लाइज. इंडिविजुअली हर पेपर में 40 के ऊपर होना चाहिए एंड एज एन एग्रीगेट कम से कम 200 मार्क होना चाहिए आउट ऑफ 400 मार्क्स. एक भी पेपर में अगर 40 से कम है, यू फेल द ग्रुप. Now, what happens when you give both the groups together? When you decide to give the both the groups together, once again you have to have minimum 40 in each of the 8 papers. And जो 50% का rule है aggregate का, you need not calculate it group wise, you have to calculate it as a total, as an aggregate of both groups. Okay, let me give you an example. Now let's assume a student has this report. Okay, accounts he scored 60, law he scored 60, costing he scored 60, tax he scored 60. He's aced the first group, and he scored 240 marks out of 400 marks. He's got, okay, so that's that. And in group 2, fifth paper 50, sixth paper 40, and 50 and 40. Okay, now interestingly all 8 papers he has scored above 40, so that's the first check. चेक नंबर 2. नाउ अगर आप ग्रुप वाइज देखो तो फर्स्ट ग्रुप में उसका टोटल 240 आउट ऑफ 400 है, 60%. और आप सिर्फ ग्रुप 2 देखो तो उसका टोटल 180 आउट ऑफ 400, दैट्स 45%, राइट? तो आप ऐसा सोचोगे सर इसका मतलब ये है क्या कि ग्रुप 1 पास है ग्रुप 2 फेल है? तो आंसर इज नो, क्योंकि उसने दोनों ग्रुप साथ में दिए हुए हैं. The aggregate will not be calculated individually. The way it will be calculated is 240 plus 180, that's 420 total aggregate, divide by 800, which is 52.5. So because when an aggregate he scored 52.5%, it's more than 50, he will be considered to be passed. ओके, तो दो आपका एक ग्रुप का स्कोर बहुत हाई है, दूसरे ग्रुप का स्कोर लो है, लेकिन क्योंकि आपने दोनों ग्रुप साथ में दिए, the institute will give you a benefit of that, and as an aggregate calculate your score at 52.5, which is considered to be pass. Now had the same candidate appeared for two groups separately, let's say उसने एक May एग्जाम में सिर्फ ग्रुप 1 दिया होता जिसमें उसको 60% आया, सेम मार्क्स, पास. सपोज नवंबर एग्जाम में उसने ग्रुप 2 दिया होता जिसमें उसको 180 आउट ऑफ 400 आया, he would have been considered fail, though he has scored 40 or more in each paper, but aggregate is was only got 180, which is 45%. लेकिन ये दोनों ग्रुप्स अगर वो एक ही एग्जाम में दे दे तो टोटल मिला के 52.5% बन रहा है, which is considered to be pass. Okay, this is the concept of a set off. One Extra score in one group helps you set off against a lower score in another group. And that is why it is always encouraged that in CA exams, you should give both your groups together. And hence, you should coach yourself for both your groups. That's very, very, very important. Because this is the way I've seen so many students pass. Individually they may not make it, but when they give all eight papers together, they make it. Now I understand studying eight papers is cumbersome, coaching for all eight papers, preparing eight papers, but you get the benefit in the exam. Now इसके साथ एक और चीज मैं आपको बोलना चाहूंगा. एक और इंस्टीट्यूट का बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग रूल होता है which is द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ एन एग्जेम्पशन. ना आपको ये पता होगा, ये सीए फाउंडेशन में भी अप्लाई होता है और ये सीए इंटर में भी अप्लाई होता है. दैट इफ यू हैव स्कोर्ड 60 मार्क्स और मोर इन एनी पेपर, ओके, यू आर, एंड सपोज यू फेल दैट ग्रुप, देन नेक्स्ट टाइम व्हेन यू अपीयर फॉर दैट ग्रुप, आपको वो पेपर जिसमें 60 से ज्यादा है वापस नहीं देना है. यू आर exempted फ्रॉम दैट पेपर बिकॉज यू हैड अ fabulous स्कोर. आई रिपीट, अगर फॉर सम रीजन आपको कोई भी सब्जेक्ट में 60 या 60 से ज्यादा मार्क्स हैं और आप वो ग्रुप फेल हो चुके हो और आपको रीअपियर करना है, तो वो पेपर जिसमें 60 या 60 से ज्यादा है वो पेपर आपको फिर से वापस नहीं देना है. ओके, नाउ एक और एग्जांपल लेते हैं. Let's assume here's a report card. Now, group 1 and group 2, both the groups this candidate gave together. First group, this candidate has scored, 60 चारों subjects में. Second group, this candidate has scored 50, 30, 50 and 40. Okay. Now, two checks we have to run. Firstly, has the candidate got 40 or more in all papers? So the answer to that is no. In the sixth paper, the candidate has only scored 30. Okay, that's the first rule. So, and secondly, अगर आप aggregate calculate करो तो 240 plus 170, okay, because दोनों ग्रुप साथ में दिया था तो मैंने आपसे कहा ऐड होगा, which is 410 out of 800 is 51.25. Now, what will be the pass result of this candidate? Now, in such a situation, group 1 will be considered to be a complete pass. Why? Because the candidate has scored 40 and more in each of the papers. Okay. But in group 2, the candidate has scored 30 marks in audit, which is less than 40. So, group 2 will be considered to be fail. Okay, so group 1 pass बोला जाएगा and group 2 would be considered to be fail. Is that very very clear everybody? And suppose just in case अगर group 2 में ये candidate को कोई भी पेपर में 60 से ज्यादा होता, तो वो जब सेकेंड टाइम ग्रुप रिपीट करेगा तो उसको वो पेपर जिसमें 60 या 60 से ज्यादा है वापस नहीं देना है. Is that okay everybody? So this is the concept of a set off. Now, what does the coaching of eight papers look like? And here is where I'm going to answer your question. Why do you need to begin early? Why am I doing a presentation with you today, way before you've even given your CA/FC exams? This is the reason. Now, if you look at the eight papers coaching, okay, so we've tentatively put up the number of hours it takes, and if you add all of this up, it takes about 1100 hours, sometimes even more when there are changes and amendments. But on an average, it takes about 1100 hours to finish the entire coaching for CA Inter. Up compare that to CA Foundation coaching, which took about 450 hours. So if you see, it's more than double. It's almost three times, but not completely three, but definitely, more than twice the number of hours that you need to coach yourself. And this is just coaching time. आपका स्टडी टाइम अलग, ओके, बिकॉज सिलेबस अब दो ग्रुप्स का है. नाउ जस्ट इमेजिन आप मई में अगर जून में सीए फाउंडेशन एग्जाम दे रहे हो 22 में, एंड यू नीड टू अपीयर फॉर सीए इंटर एग्जाम्स इन May 23. We really need to fill all these 1100 hours in the many months that you have. Finish the syllabus satisfactorily in the class, give you at least 2 to 3 months of self-study time, do many tests in the year, do prelims at the end, and then prepare you for both the groups so that you can make it and hopefully make it with a rank. Now, ये तब possible होगा, ये तभी possible होगा if we begin early. And that is why, as a norm, if I may say, with CA students, not just in Bombay but across India, is that the moment the CA Foundation exam is over, students start preparing for the CA Inter exams. They don't wait for results. They start preparing for the CA Inter exam irrespective of however your CFC exam has been. If you're even 50% and more than 50% sure that you're going to make it, because see, at the end of the day, nobody knows the results, right? It's a surprise bag. So even if you're 50% or more than 50% sure, okay, yes, exam ठीक है CFC, you must start CA inter coaching immediately. Do a month of coaching. So let's say June exam का result आ जाएगा, suppose let's say in the month of August. Agar if you made it, wonderful. Go ahead. There's no looking back. For some reason, if you haven't made it, then the rule is that you stop your C inter coaching at that time. Okay, whatever amount has been collected by the coaching provider is refunded completely back to you, which means it's been completely free. Okay, but what you've gained is knowledge. What you've gained is perspective. That will never go waste. And then you can prepare for the next CA foundation exam that you need to appear. Okay, so the general norm or the general rule has been time tested many times with so many students, and it has worked. Because students, if we really wait for your results to come and then start the coaching, there is no way we can finish it for the May 23 exams. And hence you need to start preparing, sign up, and after your CFA foundation exam, a couple of days off, and then you begin coaching. And no doubt, from the time your CA inter coaching starts till the results, we do easy syllabus. We do subjects that you've done in CA foundation. So it's not like a we don't bombard you in the first month. Yeah, we go very easy. We do the same subjects which are in common with CFC. And once the results have come and they're positive, then we start more aggressively. Okay. So to answer your question, why is the presentation done now, or why does everybody start preparing for CA Inter? I hope you've got your answer. Right. Moving ahead very quickly. So we start your batches on 4th of July, and we want to complete your batches as much as possible by 10th of Feb. A week here and there happens, given the changes in the syllabus or any contingency. But typically by 10th Feb, if we look at finishing, you have the balance, days of Feb, full of March and full of April to prepare very well to hit the exams in May. All right. Classes typically happen for 6 to 7 hours a day, and they're always, after 12 o'clock, after your college. And it's typically 6 to 7 days a week. Sometimes we try to do 6 days a week, and sometimes we give you an offer for a day. But some in certain months we have to do 7 days a week. When we want to complete more syllabus. Okay, so you have to really make yourself available. Your classroom will become your second home, or should I say first home, because you're going to be spending more time here. We'll all be family, and each one motivates the other to go through this entire process. Okay, so we look at finishing the syllabus by, like I said, by 10th Feb. Then Feb and April, you will do self study, you will do mock prelims, and then May you hit your final exam. Trust me, students, after you finished your CA inter exams, the real interesting part of your course will begin, which is articleship. It is, I think, one of the most rich, one of the most exciting experiences of life, something that I at least will never forget. And like me, I think no chartered accountant will ever forget the articleship experience, because this is really the time where you dress up, you go into an organization, you work with fellow chartered accountants, you face clients, you see so many businesses in so many different kind of industries, so many different kind of sectors. You work in so many service areas. You really see how everything that was taught to you in books comes to life practically. Okay, and then you bring those practical experiences back to the classroom, and those 3 years will grill you, will give you all the skills that you need to become a successful professional before you hit your CA final exam and then become a chartered accountant. But to get to that, you have to cross this bridge. You need the requisite knowledge, and that will come from your CA inter, right? So I think this phase in your career, or this level, is extremely important. It looks very rigorous, I know. It looks very intimidating, I understand, but it's about just holding tight, holding with each other, taking all the guidance and mentorship that we have to offer to you, and just follow what we are doing, and you will make it. I can just be confident of that. Okay. So don't get intimidated. It's tough, but it's doable. We've all done it, and you can do it as well. All right. Now, just the last 5 minutes, how we are going to make your CA Inter experience very rich, Very, very exciting. So we have a host of things to offer to you on a platter. No doubt, we'll give you the best content that's available, which has been prepared using modules, RTPs, revision test papers, past papers, mock test papers. So a lot of sources have gone in preparing some of the finest content for you. You don't need to refer to anything beyond this. Classes will be, of course, face to face. Occasionally, classes may be online for doubt solving, revision, or amendments, but largely, more than 95% of the classes I can say is definitely face to face. Okay. But what we do is we also give you a recording of what was done in the class, to go back home and revise. There are times when, you may not have picked up a concept immediately in class. There are times when a concept is taught, but when you actually pick it up later on for the exam, you've forgotten. Or there could be really genuine reasons why you've not been able to come to class. Let's say you're not well. In such cases, these recordings are very, very handy. So they will help you recap, they will help you revise. So you will get a wonderful library of all the videos of what was done in the classroom. Okay, along this with this, you get access, of course, to the Pinnacle eCampus app, which will be on your phones. That's where we host this video library. But other than that, on the eCampus app, you'll have a lot many things. All your attendances will be on the app. All your lecture schedules will be on the app. Your test papers with solutions will be on the app. We have lots of exam ready resources to help you. So, students have a lot of questions: what to do on the morning of the exam, how to study one day before the exam. If somebody scored a rank, what did he do? If somebody didn't make it, what mistakes did he make in the exam? How do I plan studying a particular subject? How do I prepare for one group, two groups, both groups? What should my study planner really, look like? What are the expectations of the examiner when you go into the exam? You have 10,000 questions, and we have resources to answer every single question that's up there. So it's this whole library is sort of filled with a lot of rich resources for you, hosted on the campus app. Other than that, we give you lots of progress tests through the year, because that will get you disciplined to start preparing little by little for the syllabuses. CA exam students test a lot of things. They don't just test your conceptual understanding, they test your ability to solve questions not done within the classrooms, your ability to think impromptu. They test your speed, they test your strategy. They try to wreck you, make you nervous by giving you panic attacks. They try to see how much of a cool and calm can you maintain in the exam. So there are so many skills that we need to prepare you for, and we do that through these progress tests. We give you the panic attacks in the classroom. We challenge your speed. We challenge your concepts, right? We challenge your strategy. So by the end, when you hit the exam hall, it's, nothing is new. You've gone through it all, right? So these progress tests and these mock exams, is something that students have, really come back and said that this is what helps them make it. This is what helps them get those ranks. Other than that, when you're out there close to your exams, we hold doubt solving sessions. We solve RTPs for you. We do past paper discussions. We will give you access to a preparation blog for every paper. So how to approach a paper, what's the examiner's expectation, how to study, how many hours to invest. We'll give you blogs for each of the 8 papers. There will be, needless to say, a 24 by 7 dedicated helpline to support you in this whole phase. Because as you study the CA inter syllabus, there are points where you're slightly lost. There are points where you don't know how to prepare, how to collect yourself, and that's where mentors like me and the organization is out there to help you get through this phase, right? And lastly, it's a lifetime reset guarantee, which means in the event that you don't make it in one attempt and you need to repeat classes, it's all for free, no questions asked, right? So we are going to give you all of this in a platter, because we really want you to progress. Really want you to move on. Okay. Most of the, like I said, I've already spoken about tests and how important they are, and how we sort of give it so much of importance because we want to grill you for the exam. I've already answered this question, why you need to start early. Because if you don't start early, there is no way you'll be able to prepare for the exams in May 23. So if you want to give May 23 attempt, you need to begin as soon as your CA foundation exams are over. So have your exams over, take a couple of days off, relax, recharge, and come back to class as soon as possible. Uh, you will always be in doubt whether I'll clear CAFC, not clear CFC. Nobody is very confident. So just go for it. The first month will include, like I said, mostly those subjects you've done in CA Foundation. It will be light, okay? In the event you clear it, wonderful. So much of syllabus is over, there's no thinking, right? In the event you don't clear CFC, you get 100% refund of whatever you've paid. But what stays with you is the knowledge. What stays with you is the experience of that 1 month. What stays with you is perspective, and that will help you in the future, right? So please start early. That's what I would like to sort of tell you, okay? Another question that students have is, so should I look at one group, two groups? Students, this is not something that should bother you at all. Needless to say, you must look at both groups. I just explained a little while back to you the benefit you have if you look at both groups. You have the benefit of a set off, right? So you must prepare for both groups through the year. At the fag end, if maybe you can say in the month of Feb or March, while you're preparing, and for some reason you realize I can't do two groups. It's not my cup of tea. It's not happening. We will sit with you. We'll help you plan. And that's where we'll tell you, okay, give group one or just give group two. Or we feel you should give both groups. We'll help you plan. But at this stage, from a preparation perspective, from a coaching perspective, there is no thinking. You have to do both groups and you have to finish the syllabus once. Okay? I hope that point is very clear. And lastly, I think one statement that has always stayed with me, and I think it's so important for all CA students to live with, is that if you can dream it, you can do it. It looks tough, it looks intimidating, it looks rigorous, it is. But if we are all in it together, if we plan well, if we smartly plan well, and if guided well, and if you're dreaming it right now, then definitely you can do it. Okay. So good luck, students, for your CAFC exams. Prepare as hard as you can. Okay. Don't leave any stone unturned. I'm very sure you'll make it. And then I hope to see all of you all in the CA inter classes, but soon. Don't waste time. All right. Thank you. Good luck. Bye bye.